Hey guys, and welcome back to The Binger, your one-stop shop for anything movie-related. The Joker is a prime example of pure villainy.
Can you introduce me as Joker?
He's an absolute icon, and we're not just talking about his makeup and killer dance moves. There's something about this character that draws actors in and spits them out. But what is it? How do Hollywood's finest get to grips with such a role? Let's find out. When Joaquin Phoenix was announced as the latest clown prince of crime, the consensus was mixed. We'd just been gifted Jared Leto's version in Suicide Squad, so imagining Phoenix in the part so soon was difficult at best. However, if anyone is qualified enough to play the maniacal madman, it's him.
Smile for me now, brother.
This is a guy that had the world convinced he was going to leave Hollywood to embark on a rap career. He gets so into characters that he becomes them. When it comes to playing the Joker, Phoenix gave it his all and then some. Most performers are consumed with pleasing the public, but in Phoenix's case, his driving force was a little different. Rather than creating a character that audiences would love, he focuses on bringing the filmmaker's vision to life. Talking to IndieWire, he said, "I don't really think that much about what people think. Who cares? My approach to every movie is the same. What I'm interested in is the filmmaker and the idea of the character." Clearly, director Todd Phillips saw the Joker as a really skinny dude in a suit. Some preparations for a role are mental, while some are physical too. Back in August 2018, pictures of the Village star emerged. Fans were taken aback by how thin he was, but it was all for the role. By the time the trailer dropped in April 2019, Phoenix was incredibly gaunt. When promoting the movie, the actor appeared on Jimmy Kimmel and admitted that the diet wasn't fun. However, he did confess that he was pleased when he hit the target weight, but it came with a price. There's a reason why people on diets are usually miserable. Phoenix was no different, admitting that losing 50 pounds took a physical and emotional toll on him, as starvation often does. When talking to ET, Phoenix said, "As it turns out, weight loss impacts your psychology, and you really start to go mad when you lose that much weight in that amount of time. Yeah, 5 minutes at a Weight Watchers meeting will tell you that much." Other than his body-focused efforts, Phoenix spent an enormous amount of time poring over a book on political assassins. He discovered that a lot of the individuals shared similar traits to the Joker he was trying to build. One thing for sure, he definitely got to where he wanted to go to deliver another truly iconic version of the Batman's foe. It's the character that keeps on giving, but only when there's a worthy actor at the helm. Following up Heath Ledger was a difficult business for Jared Leto, who knew he had to go down a different route. The musician/actor needed to find his own way around the part, but how could he do that? Leto's version of Mr. J is arguably one that the hipster generation has been waiting for. With his blinged out teeth, slicked back hair, and pimp-like demeanor, he was both scary as heck and alluring. The actor scoured the pages of drug lords, looking at how they presented themselves. He found an abundance of tigers, private pools, gold-plated AK-47s, and women flaunting Gucci bags. When he had the look down, it was time to get into character. Leto was so focused on the part that his fellow actors didn't really speak to him.
God, if you weren't so crazy, I think you're insane.
In fact, Will Smith went so far as to say he never actually met Leto. Outside of their scenes, the stars didn't say 2 words to each other. Director David Ayer said that the 30 Seconds to Mars frontman was so intimidating on set that the bird stopped flying. Suicide Squad's Joker has a great deal to do with Arkham Asylum. It's where he meets Harley Quinn when he's a patient, and he recruits his posse from there. For a method actor like Leto, there was only one way to get to the heart of the beast: by going inside. Clearly not fearing for his safety, the 47-year-old spent a considerable amount of time in an actual real-life insane asylum. There he rubbed shoulders with the worst of the worst. He didn't simply stop in for tea either, but had full-on lengthy experiences with the criminally insane. For most people, that kind of thing would stay with them forever, damaging the psyche beyond belief. For Leto, it was all in a day's work. He embraced Gotham's finest so much that he even started doing unsettling things on set. When filming first started, he sent an entire dead pig to his castmates as a gift, shocking them all. On another occasion, he gifted Margot Robbie a live black rat in a box, supposedly trying to emulate their on-screen twisted relationship. As a master of the arts, Leto also tested his character on live audiences. He may have kept himself apart from his co-stars, but he often busted out his villainous persona while performing with his band. On a few occasions, he would come out mid-set dressed as Mr. J from head to toe. Why? Presumably to truly imagine how it would feel to have as much power as the evildoer. One of the most prolific traits about this styling of the bad guy is his charismatic charm. We all know he's as rotten as they come, but we can't help feeling enamored with him anyway. When Heath Ledger took on the role, he set a standard that is hard to beat.
Why so serious?
In fact, his performance in The Dark Knight was so legendary that it's gone down in cinematic history. While actors before him like Jack Nicholson played a happier, more bemused character, Ledger wanted to flip the script. He certainly did that, portraying a beautifully sadistic maniac, unlike anything we had seen before. It wasn't an easy road for the actor, who immersed himself in the part almost a little too much. Christian Bale later spoke about Ledger's determination and grit, especially in one scene in which Batman interrogates the villain. Interestingly, Ledger had asked to be physically hurt rather than just dodging some well-timed punches. Bale said, "The more I beat him, the more he enjoys it. The more I'm giving him satisfaction." Heath was behaving in a very similar fashion. He was slamming himself around, and there were tiled walls inside of that set which were cracked and dented from him hurling himself into them. Ledger, who knew that this was the part of a lifetime, was only 26 when filming started. That's a very young age to have such dedication, but he went for broke. To fully get an idea of where the Joker was coming from, he booked a hotel room and stayed in it for 6 weeks in the run-up to production. He kept human interaction at an absolute minimum and simply read comic books and meditated. More than anything else, Ledger said he focused on what the character would sound like, telling Empire, "I sat around in a hotel room in London for about a month, locked myself away, formed a little diary and experimented with voices. It was important to try to find a somewhat iconic voice and laugh." Ledger certainly achieved his goal.
Let's put a smile on that face.
In the end, the Australian actor sounded miles away from how he did as a fresh-faced youth in 10 Things I Hate About You. As well as this, he kept a notebook full of clippings that inspired him to fully embody the villain. Pictures of A Clockwork Orange's Alex DeLarge littered it, alongside lists of things that he hated, such as landmines, AIDS, and the periodic table of elements. Heath Ledger later tragically passed away by accidental overdose 6 months prior to the movie's release. He won a posthumous Oscar for his efforts. Jack Nicholson later said that he had warned the young star. Some took that to mean Nicholson warned him about the psychological impact of the part, but the Hollywood vet later said he was talking about Ambien, the sleeping medication. Jack Nicholson is one of the greatest characters that Hollywood has ever seen.
Here's Johnny.
And that's when he's not working. He's a man about town, a serial womanizer, and an award-winning performer who is worth his weight in cinematic gold. You don't get much better than him. When he was cast in 1989's Batman, there was no one better for the job.
You can call me Joker.
However, unlike some of the other actors we've seen, Nicholson took a much more relaxed approach to the part. There were no month-long lock-ins, no intense studying of the seedy criminal underbelly of the world. In fact, according to actor Michael Keaton, he just went through the Joker like a breeze. During an interview with David Letterman promoting the Tim Burton flick, Keaton recalled a time when the pair were in makeup. Nicholson reportedly looked over to his co-star and said, "We just gotta let the wardrobe do the acting, kid." In fact, most of what we know about Nicholson's ethos on that movie comes from Keaton. During a chat with Jimmy Kimmel in 2014, the Birdman star revealed that while his friend was incredibly disciplined and focused, Nicholson also refused to show up to work until 10 a.m. Why? Because he wasn't usually done partying until 3 in the morning.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Other information about how Nicholson prepared for the role is sparse, but given his portrayal, we'd say he read a lot of the comics. Not only did he look the most similar to the original Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson, and Bill Finger creation, but he acted like it too. Of course, Nicholson has one over on his contemporaries as he has a naturally upturned mouth, giving him a trademark grin. There was a little help of lipstick, of course, but that smile is definitely 90% Nicholson, 10% makeup. Cesar Romero. Cesar Romero originated the live-action version of the Joker after starring in the Batman TV series in the mid to late 60s. The landscape of television on the whole was different back then. There was nothing like the big-budget productions we see today, and certainly nothing as gritty as Gotham. Back then, shows like Batman were largely aimed at children and had to have that family-friendly vibe. Romero's Joker was slapstick with little to no depth. but that doesn't mean it wasn't great. The actor told CBS at the time that filming was a hoot, saying, "It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing this show, and we had a lot of fun making the movie. It's a part that you can do everything that you've always been told not to do as an actor. In other words, you can get as hammy as you like and go all out. It's great fun. I enjoy it." While Cesar may not have seen the part with a serious undertow like his successors, he did leave a mark on it. When Nicholson played the role, he took some hints from Cesar's costume at least. Other actors may have lost huge amounts of weight and drastically altered their appearances, but not Cesar. He wouldn't even shave his mustache off, instead forcing makeup to cover it with white face paint. Ah, those were simpler times, weren't they? Who was your favorite Joker actor, or do you think someone could have done a better job? Sound off below. Before you go, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.